everyone, just a quick reminder that Global Big Day is on May 4th, so don't forget to count and log with eBird all the birds that you hear or see on that day. You don't have to count for 24 hours, 10 minutes will be plenty. Last year there were over 30,000 people counting birds worldwide on that day. I've got a couple of things for you here on Backyard Feeding. First of all, I was reading the April's issue of the Birdwatching magazine. I absolutely love this publication, and I was shocked to find out that the population of common grackles is actually declining. I will quote from the magazine. As a farmlife scavenger, it is often seen as a pest and is subjected to control measures leading to the decline. I know that all the grackles are here and they're emptying everybody's feeders faster than we can fill them, but maybe we shouldn't be that hard on them. They do need to eat as well. And the second thing I have for you is about nesting boxes. Dennis Stroud in Florida has had an eastern screech owl nesting box with the webcam for about 3 years. The first 2 years he let starlings take over and use it. This year he chased the starlings away and he has an eastern screech owl using the box. So if you have nesting boxes and you want to be a good landlord, please make sure that European starlings and house sparrows don't take over and use your nesting boxes. Well, with a new baby and my parents around, we had to upgrade our car, so we ended up having a white car. And living in the country, it does get quite dirty. Normally, we don't really care about washing it, but there are days when we have to be presentable enough, so we have to wash it. So we let the rain take care of it on the days when it rains, or when we go through spells when there is no rain and we still need to wash the car, we just use a bucket and a sponge. Believe it or not, using a hose wastes a lot of money and a lot of water. So here's my challenge for you. If you really need to wash your car, please use just a bucket with water instead of a hose, or let nature take care of your dirty car. Matt, coming from British Columbia, is curious why he is no longer hearing the hooting of western screech owls, which used to be quite common in his area.
Hi, Matt. So, you're no longer hearing the calls of the western screech owls in the woods near Victoria and Vancouver Island. Well, you're not alone. But one must first keep in mind that while these little owls might have been widespread in their distribution in the western part of North America, they were never particularly numerous. However, their calls are definitely less commonly heard than they used to be, especially on Vancouver Island where you and I live. According to a study published in 2006 by Kyle Elliott, ironically the young man who got my old job at McGill University when I retired in 2013, there might be several explanations for the decline. The first possibility is the introduction of gray squirrels, which not only could compete with them for nest cavities, but also eat the owl's eggs and young. However, those squirrels do not exist on Salt Spring Island, where the screech owls have also declined. Kyle also did not find any significant loss of screech owl habitat either. That left one glaring possibility: the invasion of another species deadly to the little owls, the barred owl. These large, aggressive owls have expanded their range westward to the point of being quite common in the west. Whenever a screech owl utters any kind of a hooting call to attract mates and defend their territories, the barred owls, with their equally amazing hearing, seek them out and make a meal out of them. So, the screech owls have responded by only breeding in smaller wooded areas where barred owls do not live. Thus, you and I see and hear less western screech owls.
It's hummingbird season. Well, not quite here. They should be here in about 2 to 3 weeks. So David has prepared something for us about hummingbirds. Enjoy.
While there are more than 325 distinct hummingbird species in the world, North America is home to only 16. However, only about a half dozen of them have any decent-sized range there. The ruby-throated hummingbird is the only species that breeds throughout the eastern half of the continent, while one is most likely to see only Anna's, rufous, black-chinned, and broad-tailed in the western regions. The remainder have very limited ranges down in the south bordering with Mexico. Here are some interesting factoids about hummers. Weighing less than a nickel, they have about 1,000 to 1,500 feathers, the fewest number in the bird world. The eyelash of the hummingbird is likely the smallest of all feathers in existence. The smallest bird in the world is the bee hummingbird, found only in Cuba, measuring only 2¼ inches long. Hummers can fly in all directions, including backwards, by flapping their wings between 50 to 200 times per second and reaching speeds of 60 miles an hour in a dive. With the passing of each minute, their heart beats 1,200 times and they take 250 breaths. Their eggs are the tiniest in the bird world, smaller than a jelly bean. Hummingbirds do not suck nectar, they lick it with fringed forked tongues, and they can lick nectar at the rate of 10 to 15 times per second. The best I can do with an ice cream cone is half that. Just kidding. While these little birds do love our provided sugar water, they do need to eat small insects and spiders for protein. It's hard not to love a creature as amazing as that.
My colleagues go to China on a regular basis. This time they came back with 2 local stories from there. China is really pulling itself together to protect the environment, especially the birds. Poaching and illegal hunting have always been a huge problem there. There are still so many people that believe in rejuvenating powers of certain birds and their nests. So the first story is about smuggled bird nests. Customs officers have just seized 160 metric tons of bird nests, which were worth $298 million. This was actually part of a huge operation where 25 warehouses were raided, 8 smuggling gangs were busted, and 18 smugglers were arrested. The second story is about a couple that was caught killing migratory birds, 1,763 to be precise, on the Chongming Island. The couple is not only to pay a hefty fine, but they are also to serve 1,800 hours of community service where they will participate in a number of conservation projects, learning, and then spreading the word about the importance of bird conservation. Trapping birds for whatever reasons is totally illegal here in North America, well, unless you have a special permit. Dr. Gregory Abel is studying West Nile virus and its interaction with birds and humans. He had a permit from Colorado Parks and Wildlife to catch crows, robins, and other birds for his research. And I guess when you're busy trying to save people's lives, you don't really pay attention to expiry dates on your permit. Apparently, his expired in 2017, and he continued to trap birds until someone reported him and Parks and Wildlife had to investigate. So now he's been fined and he's no longer allowed to trap birds in 2019. He can continue his research, and if he needs new birds, well, he has to have someone else on his team apply for a new permit. Well, goodbye for now. Please don't forget to participate in Global Big Day on May 4th. Take care, everyone.